I'm Dawn Lindsay, president of Anne Arundel Community College, one of the resources for our community and training opportunities for our community. I know this is about job search, so I have to tell you, start with, I love my job. I love the opportunities I have and the people I get to work with. So just a couple questions that I can work on or share with you that have come forward, talking about educational requirements for these positions. So for a college president, you're looking at a doctorate, most likely. So quite a bit of education goes into becoming a college president. However, most college presidents do start out, especially in the community colleges, as faculty. We start in the field where we're actually teaching students, and my background is psychology and social work. My doctoral degree is in organizational leadership. So it does require education to become this position, but there's a lot of positions within colleges, and I'll speak specifically for community colleges, but much of it's going to apply to your four-year colleges as well. And most people think of college as people coming there from students, but from an employee perspective, I think our college is probably one of the best colleges in the nation to work for. We've got a lot of national recognition. We win a lot of awards. Our faculty and our staff are top. So let's just say you're interested in getting involved with a community college, but you don't know what are the options. What could you apply for? We have jobs in a variety of fields. Some of them require additional education. For instance, to be a faculty person, you have to at least have a master's degree. And your master's degree has to be in your area of expertise. So for me, I had to show that I was skilled in teaching psychology and social work before I could start teaching those classes. But what I also found is my skill set then started to expand into other areas. So for instance, I was also teaching in women's studies. I had opportunities to teach in women's studies. I had opportunities to teach career training classes with students. So doing various testing opportunities like the college assessments that are career oriented as far as what you might be interested in doing. But let me just share the wealth of jobs that we have. So if you're talented and you're interested in custodial work or facilities work or maintenance work or gardening and landscaping, we have people that do that. Suppose your interest is in sanitation and keeping businesses clean, and especially with COVID, making sure people that are safe. We have a whole department for that. We have entry-level positions where people can actually attain work with us with a high school degree and work their way through the community college if they want to move in a different direction. But we have people that sit at our welcome desk and welcome people as they come in. Questions and answers people have that can be answered at that level. We have career advisors, career counselors. We have tutors. We have a library that needs to be staffed, all of our classrooms. So I just want to stress that Anne Arundel Community College is the example that we're using, but what I'm sharing with you is pretty universal and goes across colleges, so it doesn't just have to be our college. As far as credentialing and licensing, I touched on it a little bit. Yes, there are some of our positions that require special certificates, special knowledge base, but we have a variety of opportunities for people to start looking into making a decision if working at a community college is something that they want to do. I have to brag a little bit about Anne Arundel. What I have found since I've been there in the last 9 years, people tend to come and not leave. So we literally have people that have been working there for 45 years who are just debating, are they really ready to retire and let this go because they enjoy their work and the interactions with our students so much. But obviously, as people start to retire, we have an opportunity to bring in new talent and new thoughts and new direction. Community colleges are deemed, the need is to be pretty pivotal. So we have to really be able to respond to the external community. And when I'm looking at skill sets for that and opportunities for that, I'll just talk about COVID. I share with people that there's no playbook on how to run a college during a national world pandemic. So you're not always prepared, but you need the skill set with which to get prepared. So things like listening, assessing, gathering information, working as a team, not independently, but really vetting issues and concerns so that your team can help you as you're moving the direction of any institution forward. Listening is important. People have a lot of great ideas. I happen to work with a lot of experts, and I've said frequently, there's no better place to work than a community college when you've got an issue or a problem, because we've got experts throughout the campus that can help us resolve it. So we have come through the to this perspective of the COVID situation really well. Fiscally, we're sound because we've got a great budget department that's been very conservative and allocating out resources for us to spend and making sure that we're very, very focused on particular areas that are going to benefit our students. But in the middle of this pandemic and the fact that, you know, all schools right now are pretty much online, so that's been a huge transition. March 13th of 2020, when we closed the college for spring break, I actually anticipated we were going to be back on April the 6th. And we are still working primarily from home. So needless to say, over a year later, that plan didn't work out, but other plans have worked out. So we needed to transfer like 1,250 classes from face-to-face to online. And that takes tremendous talent and dedication of our faculty. And they literally worked through their spring break in addition to 2 additional weeks for people who had never taught an online class before, to really make sure that the class that they were teaching meets the quality and the rigor that Anne Arundel Community College is known for. As far as training, one of the questions is there training required for this field? I've spoken about it from the perspective of an employer, and absolutely we have training opportunities and training requirements, minimum qualifications for many of our positions. But I would like to stress that our college also provides tuition reimbursement. And as an educational institution, we are very, very interested in people utilizing what we provide, which is education, in order to move themselves forward in their careers. So we have tuition reimbursement on our campus for people that are working at the college. Let's just say somebody comes out with a bachelor's degree or an AA degree, and they're interested in maybe getting involved in advisement or working with our students in tutorial areas. And that's happened because they've been exposed to it and they need additional training. We will indeed support our workforce in moving in the direction of getting the training that they need through tuition reimbursement. And we also have a huge professional development program. Usually when businesses are looking at financial cutbacks, the first thing, at least in colleges, that gets cut back is professional development. And I'm proud to say that our philosophy was, during a pandemic is when we need professional development. So we did not cut our professional development funding. In fact, we continue to invest very, very heavily in our workforce. What I like most about my job is seeing students succeed. When someone comes with a dream and we're going to be the journey for them, I take it very, very seriously. I've been doing this work for over 30 years now, and I can tell you there isn't one graduation that has passed that I haven't at least gotten choked up and teary. The faces of the students that are coming through. I have story after story after story of students between my teaching and my administrative work. I had a woman I'll never forget. This was back in 1997 when I was doing career transition for people who were coming back into the workforce as older adults. And I had just moved to California at 30-something, so I was going through this transition. And they had me in the reentry center, which was primarily women who were recareering. And I had a woman who came into me in her 30s who said, you know, she was never going to get a degree because her father told her that she just didn't have the math skills to get a degree. And I'm a cognitive therapist by training, so I'm very good at digging into things and looking at facts. And so we had a long conversation about the truth that maybe her father had shared with her maybe wasn't really her truth. But in addition, let's challenge that, and let's see what resources that we can put in front of you in order to help you get through this math sequence that a lot of students are afraid of. This wasn't just one student that I've had. Math is an obstacle for a lot of people. And she completed her classes, she completed her AA degree, she transferred to a bachelor's degree, and her dream was to give back, doing very similar to what I had done with her. And she did find work at a community college, and that was her passion. And she's now encouraging other people in that direction. So when I see people doubt themselves, be unsure that they're ready for college, be unsure that college is necessarily ready for them, I really encourage people to talk with an advisor or talk with someone who can help you work through that barrier, because through breaking barriers and through success, I believe confidence builds. And the more confidence, the more we're going to risk take. And the more we risk take, the further we're going to go. So we have to get people out of a cycle where they feel stuck sometimes. And that's not all of our students, but certainly our average age is 25, 26. We're dealing with a lot of older adult students, married, not married, kids, other family obligations. It's hard to be working full time. It's hard to be searching for a job while you're working on your education, because you want to make sure that you're doing that well. And the colleges provide a lot of support for our students. So that's just another area where people can also get invested. But if somebody's questioning for themselves, what about college for me? We're here to help you with that as well. In fall of 21, we're opening a brand new building, 175,000 square feet, $116 million. We're very excited about it. I got a tour of it on Monday. I can't wait for it to open. It's our new Health Life Sciences building. And that building has been put up directly in support of the medical needs for our county and the need to look at doubling our nursing program. Our healthcare programs are nationally known. We have incredibly high pass rates, lots of support around our students that are interested in going into healthcare. And for people who aren't sure that they want to go into healthcare, but they're not sure they want to be a nurse, we have other options for them in the healthcare industry that they can still experiment and still see what they want to do in that direction. So we've created this science technology quad area where students who are interested in the sciences can kind of partner together. Students that are coming in are going to be in the same building as our nursing program, so they can see what their colleagues, their student friends are doing. And the other thing that I'm very, very proud of for the college is after you get $116 million from the county and the state, you don't usually go knocking on their door for more money, because they've been very generous in supporting the college, both the state and the county. So we had, speaking of different opportunities, we had workforce development, skilled trades individuals, people who own plumbing companies, HVAC companies, alarm companies, telling us that they cannot find trained workers for these skilled trade jobs that are paying a lot of money to people who, and it's a great career and it's a great opportunity and a great option. But some people have thought, well, maybe career jobs, it's not something I should investigate. And I really encourage people to look at opportunities and options. Committing to an AA degree or transfer or 4-year degree might not be something that everybody's interested in doing. In fact, we know that that's not the case. And for our older students who are coming back, looking to get back into the workforce and being able to, support their family, support their lifestyle, they are looking at opportunities that they can move through things. And the Clausen Center for Skilled Trades and Innovation is another brand new building that we're going to be opening up in January of 22. This building has been raised and supported totally by our foundation and our community, and has been built solely on college donations and philanthropy. So to me, it speaks well of the college when we have people that are in the community who are philanthropic, who are interested in seeing what they can invest in that's going to give a tremendous return on investment, invest in our college in order to get the building up for the Clausen Center. So we're very excited about that. We've got carpentry in there. We're going to have plumbing, HVAC. It's going to start with 4 different lab spaces, and what we've designed it to be is flexible and fluid so that we can be as nimble as possible. So let's just say there's some career that comes out in the skilled trades that we're not even anticipating at this point in time. We'll be able to pivot and convert some of our classrooms to make sure that we're working with our students in that direction. The Clausen Center is right down the hill from one of our teaching buildings. So we also anticipate that people are going to be going back and forth to those buildings. And maybe this will spark some interest also as far as getting an AA degree or looking at transfer. But the Clausen Center is specifically designed to get people a skill, get them in the door, get them through the door, and get them working. And when I believe education is empowerment. As a therapist, I used to do a lot of family work and couples work and work with, teenagers and things like that. So I really enjoyed doing therapy with people. But what I found with education is I get a whole lot more bang for the buck, and a whole lot more people are impacted with the work that I'm doing now. So I see that education, regardless of which field or which direction a student wants to go into, that we're able to provide that for them. So not only are we bringing in a workforce that's trained, we're training the workforce of the county. So we are continually, giving back to our county through the students that we're educating, and those students in turn are living in Anne Arundel County, they're working in Anne Arundel County, they're paying taxes to Anne Arundel County, so they're continuing to contribute to the economy of the county as well. Again, personally, what I find the most satisfying is the relationships that I have the opportunity to develop with our students, but also with our workforce. I couldn't be more proud to be able to represent our particular college. Our workforce is incredibly dedicated. very committed to the work, very passionate. Through this epidemic, there's no other team that I would want to be going through a pandemic with than the team that I have the opportunity to work with right now. The economy, usually what happens from the economic perspective is when there's a downturn in the economy, there's an upturn in people coming back to community colleges. So the traditional flow has been economy's down, classes are up. Economy comes up, people are working, they've gotten the skill set that they had when the economy was down that they earned and came back, so they become employed. This economy has been a bit different in the fact that people are starting to really question what it is that they can do. And that's why this Clausen Center and our Health and Life Sciences Center, as far as meeting the needs of, in healthcare, people who want to become mammography experts. We have a dental program that we're going to be opening. I went through the building. It's like a little hospital. Like, you look like you're walking into a little hospital. There's a waiting area, there's a dental service area, there's mammography, there's blood opportunities, there's certified nursing assistants. So we also can help people get jobs in that direction. So we're finding that economically, we need to be very, very responsive to the changing demands that's happening nationwide. Otherwise, you become obsolete if you're not working to address the needs of the community. So my job really involves working with other people, looking at external variables such as this pandemic and what does this mean to people. People have an opportunity to now increase opportunities for online learning, but there's a number of students who say, I don't do well online learning, so this isn't going to work for me as well as being face-to-face. We have continued our face-to-face classes in healthcare since June of last year, so we worked through the pandemic, realizing it was critical that we get these students trained and into the workforce. I was talking to some people on Monday, and it looks like our EMT program, our paramedic program, we opened 15 slots, they were full right away. We opened 10 additional slots, they were full right away. So we clearly know that we're on the right track with the research that we're doing. And since this is looking for careers and looking for entrepreneurial opportunities, the other thing I really want to stress is there is a tremendous need for teamwork. In this time and in these difficult situations, I think the most successful people surround themselves with really successful, smart people who know what the person who's trying to make decisions doesn't know or might need to consider. So I spend a fair amount of time with the leadership team talking about direction and really vetting, is this the right idea? Is this not the right idea? Are we being responsive to our students? Because that's important to us. And the other thing that I brought to the college in 2016 was a new strategic plan that was written and developed by the faculty and staff. I didn't write it, I just brought the concept forward, that I wanted us to change from looking at success as the number of students that come in the door to the number of students that actually go through the door and attain their educational credential or their opportunity. And with that, we really started taking a look at wraparound services through our learner support programs. And students were able and are able to, again, not only meet with tutors, but meet with academic advisors. But we even stretched it more than that. We have students that are lack of food. I mean, food insecurities, not able to necessarily pay bills right now because they don't have an income coming in or they've been really stretched in that direction. So our college also has a food pantry, and we've partnered with the Maryland Food Bank, and we distribute food every Wednesday. We have a clothing area for students that are getting ready to go out on an interview and they need clothes in order to interview, so a successful wardrobe. So I'm really proud that the college is not just looking at the student as a student in the classroom, but we're looking at a person as a holistic person and looking at all their needs, realizing that everything impacts their success at the college. And from a work perspective, I think it's the satisfaction and the enjoyment that our entire workforce sees, knowing that we are changing lives. And that's what colleges are about. So I guess that's pretty much a summary of my interest in this and my support for people coming through and people thinking of Anne Arundel as their college of first choice. We have articulation agreements with all of the Maryland colleges, public colleges, many with private colleges. So what I share with people, especially parents who are helping their students make a decision that think that going to a four-year college is the only option, actually a much more fiscally sound option is to come to a community college, take the first 2 years of our classes, and then transfer them in. student still graduates with their degree from McDaniel or their degree from Stevenson or their degree from College Park. It doesn't say 2 years community college because we've done the articulation work with the 4-year colleges already. So, you know, people have questioned, why am I paying all this money to sit in a dorm room to do online when I can't get out? And I think that's a good question. When they can still be doing it and still be getting their classes online, but doing it maybe at home where they can save money, and when they're around people that can support them. So I see our college as a college of first choice. We are a national leader. We sit on the League of Innovation. We have a board seat on there, which speaks to the quality of the work that we're doing. We won a resiliency award for the work that we did in spring of 20, dealing with COVID specifically. It was a national award talking about how well we did. And we also got, we didn't even know this was coming, but we were listed the #1 college in the nation, community college in the nation. So over 1,600 community colleges, this community has the #1 college sitting right here within the county. So I encourage people to take a look at what we offer, take a look at what we can train people to get into, and certainly look at us as an employer if you're interested in just the incredible work that we can do in changing people's lives.